Today, we'll explore the tricky world of capital gains tax on agricultural land. A viewer bought a land near Mohali in 1995 for 20 lakh rupees and it's now worth over 2.5 crores. We'll dive into whether it's taxable and what documents he might need. Next, we'll help a 50-year-old plan their retirement through mutual funds. They're looking to build a solid corpus in just 6 to 8 years. So we'll break down some smart investment strategies. We'll untangle a property inheritance question between siblings. What happens when a father passes away without a will, leaving behind 2 houses? We'll explain how the law views this situation. And lastly, we'll clarify a grandson's rights to his grandfather's property, especially when there are uncles in the picture. It's a complex family situation that many might relate to. Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Kash Queries with Krutika. This Q&A series is born from the countless queries I have received over the years. I realize that so many of you have similar questions, so why not share the knowledge with everyone? We cover every aspect of financial planning, from taxes to investments, inheritance to retirement. Let's dive in. Now let's welcome Mithilesh, who will be voicing our questions today. Take it away, Mithilesh.
I bought a piece of agricultural land near Mohali in 1995 for approximately 20 lakh rupees. The plot is currently worth over 2.5 crores. I understand that subject to certain conditions of location, agricultural land is not considered as a capital asset for the purpose of capital gains. Please advise the applicability of capital gains tax and, if exempt, documentation necessary for presentation to the assessing officer.
Okay. So to prove that the land is agricultural, the taxpayer needs to get the records with the concerned land revenue officer for the classification of land and concerned municipal records for the other information like population, area within municipality, etc. If the land does not qualify as agricultural land, then the capital gains thereon shall be taxable. The fair market value of land as on 1st April 2001 will be considered the cost, which shall be indexed to the year of sale to adjust for inflation, and the gains arrived at after deducting the such cost from the sales considerations shall be taxed at 20% plus applicable surcharge and cess. Great question. Let's move on to the next one, Mithilesh.
I am 50 and want to start investing in mutual funds to build a good corpus by the time I am 56 or 58 years old. I can invest rupees 10,000 to 12,000 per month. I also invest rupees 4,500 per month in NPS and rupees 10,000 in PPF. How should I proceed?
It seems that your new plan is directed towards boosting your retirement corpus, and obviously rightly so. The monthly 4,500 in NPS I think is directed towards the additional 50,000 tax benefit for Tier 1 accounts. Assuming the active mode is chosen and you plan to have at least 50 to 60% in equity or as much as allowed due to the age allocation restriction post 50, you will have accumulated about 5 to 7 lakhs. But keep in mind that this NPS corpus will eventually have to be used partly to purchase an annuity later. Now the PPF 10,000 monthly is expected to accumulate about 8 to 13 lakhs in 6 to 8 years, assuming that the average interest rates over the remaining tenure will be approximately the same as 7.1. The actual corpus in both PPF and NPS would be higher as you would have already some existing investments in both. Now for your mutual fund investments, assuming a return of 10 to 12%, you can expect a corpus of 11 to 13 lakh rupees or 17 to 20 lakh rupees if you invest 12,000 per month for 6 years and 8 years respectively. Though I don't know your risk appetite, but making some assumptions, I would suggest that you just pick up 2 funds to invest in. You can have one index fund, a Nifty or Sensex based, and one flexi cap fund. Or you can simply opt for 2 index based funds based on Nifty and Sensex and Nifty Next 50. These pure equity funds should be sufficient. Do note that during later years, it would be prudent to cut down your equity exposure after considering your overall asset allocation to help you smoothly cross the retirement threshold without having to worry too much about the risk of poor sequence of returns. If you are unsure of how to manage the crossover, please do get in touch with the SEBI registered investment advisor. Great question on retirement planning. Let's take it to the third question, Mithilesh.
Our parents passed away last year, leaving behind me and my sister. My father had 2 houses, which was self-acquired and in his name. He had told me and my sister that he wanted us to have 1 house each, but he died without putting it in a will. Now, what will be the share each one of us will be entitled to with respect to these properties?
So, according to the Hindu Succession Act 2005, both son and daughter have equal right to the self-acquired property of their father if he dies without making a will. Hence, both you and your sister as class 1 legal heirs will have an equal share in both the properties of your deceased father and can claim a right to it. Great, let's move on to the another question on estate planning. Take it away, Mithlesh.
I was raised by my grandparents since my parents died when I was 5 years old. Now I'm 22 years old. My grandfather has 2 self-acquired properties in his name. I have 2 uncles who are my deceased mother's brothers. Will my grandfather's properties go only to my uncles, or will I be able to stake a claim to these?
The son of a predeceased daughter, being a class 1 legal heir as per the schedule in section 8 of the Hindu Succession Act, has the same share in property of his grandfather which his mother would have got if she were alive. So he can claim her share along with the other legal heirs. Great, with that it's a wrap on today's episode. I hope these answers have shed some light on your own financial questions. Remember, financial planning isn't a one-size-fits-all, but understanding these concepts can help you make informed decisions. So if you have a burning financial question you'd like answered, don't hesitate to email me at my address. Your query might just feature in our next episode. Thank you for tuning in to this episode, and remember, a little financial knowledge can go a long way. Until next time, this is Krutika wishing you smart and prosperous financial planning.